Good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl Stephanie with the White School Podcast, and I have my special guest Carl Shaft on
Mhm.
Instagram. Um, we're just gonna have an afternoon discussion because we know that we just got through a whole election campaign. We just got through um, people yelling on the internet. And that leaves us to the title of the show is Can't We All Just Get Along? And my thumbnail says Better Together. So for the past, year or so, we've been seeing this like so-called gender war being inserted into our community, and you know, women are on their feminist raid saying they don't need men, and you know, it's just since losing the campaign, Democratic campaign for Kamala, it seems like women, they're just even more irate and they want to separate from men. But it should tell us, I mean, we're the ones that voted the most. So doesn't that mean we're kind of on the same page? And why can't we just come together? So that's the topic, the discussion I wanted to have with my good friend Carl Shaft. And how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing very fine. And I like how you just worded it, which would
Mhm.
have been totally different than how I would word it, because I don't think people would get along. I don't think there is going to be, because in hindsight, I think people thrive off of separation and division. And
You sure?
the, yeah, yeah, they thrive off of it because it's the only thing that brings them together.
How?
It's the only thing that attracts them. When you look at social media, people are attracted to social media not just for the interaction of other human beings, but because of what what everybody is striving on. Majority of social media is about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's the majority of topic. And even when they talked about politics with the whole Trump and Kamala thing,
Mm-hmm.
it it still was talking about relationship because us getting along with each other, us demonstrating or learning what interdependence is,
Mm-hmm.
that's boring. It's really boring to a lot of people because it requires work.
Mm-hmm.
Work that people don't want to put in, work that they don't want to learn. And as I said before, we're selective about what we invest into. You understand? We're investing ourselves, our
Mm-hmm.
body parts, but we won't take that same commitment that we have in our hair, our nails, our body parts. We won't apply that same energy when it comes to other things that really matters in a long-term thinking process.
As.
Um, like I said before, or a few that we don't believe in maintaining jobs for 20, 30 years, maintaining marriages for 20, 30 years. Um, Hell, maintain a phone number for 10, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do not invest because it requires work, consistency, commitment, determination, and it's not important. It's really not important to people. So the outcome is no stability, no consistency, and as we've already seen, no contingency. Nobody's planning ahead. You understand?
Well, I think one thing that the Bible says that love is like the greatest thing. If we would just love ourselves or love other people like we love ourselves, a lot of everything would just go away. For real. If another country was like, well, I don't want to bomb them because I wouldn't want to be bombed. We wouldn't have wars. Or that person that wouldn't rob the other person, like, I wouldn't want nobody to rob my sister. We wouldn't do things if we would naturally resort to love and care for one another.
But
So,
we don't love ourselves.
well, that could be a reflection of that. And
Yeah,
that's a good point. So I think a lot of what's hard is that there are people that have learned how to love themselves and treat themselves good. So they're just waiting for another person to come along and do the same to them and be reciprocal. But there's a lot of people, like you said, that may not know that they don't like themselves because
so in other
so
words, you're
busy being
more
on social media and trauma bonding with so many other people that they don't.
well, that's easier because it doesn't require much work. And if I'm
Mhm,
hearing you correctly, it's saying that
mhm,
I am waiting to receive it, but I don't know how to give it. I don't even know what it is.
yeah.
Like I heard a young lady recently say that love isn't a feeling, it's a decision.
Mm,
And like I said, the decision of having a cell phone, the decision to have a job, the decision to do certain things requires a commitment, requires the energy that, like I said before, we selectively put with other things, but not where it really counts or really matters. So when you say love,
mhm,
people ain't deciding love. It's love based on a feeling that is subjective, momentarily, and even conditional.
mm,
Because I don't love that man if he ain't paid my bill. I don't love that man if he ain't, you know. So these are the things that comes with it.
mm.
And
Totally true. All right, I will as I started at the beginning of the video of the
I'm
live,
with you.
sorry. I'm going to share a video of how people were or women were acting after um the election was over. Oh,
Go
the
for it.
campaign was over. I'm sorry. Let me
Go for it.
share
Let's
my
go.
screen. Hold on. trying, trying to share the screen. Okay, let's see. We elected the right way. Okay. Hold on, let me see. How wish there was a better way to do this. All right. I don't know if it started right. Let's see.
Donald Trump's historic win, there's a new movement sweeping America. Disappointed women are actually swearing off men.
There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years.
They're saying no to dating, no to marriage, no to sex,
Celibacy, at least to me, isn't that hard.
and no to having children.
Like so many other women in America who have been considering trying to get pregnant, I woke up today and said, nope, not anymore.
This woman is actually shaving her head in protest. It's being called the 4B movement, and women are taking to social media declaring their allegiance.
Fuck being hot, fuck being all the things that the patriarchy wants us to be. Because clearly, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm talking to you too. Those of you ladies who have the internalized misogyny required to do what you did. Minorities who are so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man just in case some crumbs fall off his plate so that you may eat from them. Yes, scraps. I don't know how to work this thing, but I'm on my way. I'm gonna figure it out. Let's just do some cutting. You know why? Because this is taking too long. Here we go. Short hair we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're cutting it off because fuck you. That's why. You think I'm crazy? Me too. Crazy. Just like all the women before me who were crazy. So fucking crazy.
Let the truth show. About time.
In the wake of
Wow. Wow. That is crazy.
No, that's not crazy.
That was crazy.
Not crazy at all.
Why?
I guess because think of it as I'm looking for an excuse.
Which is crazy.
No, this is how it was. This is how it was all along. But now we have an excuse. You're not punishing. You're not really punishing. You're hurting yourself.
Exactly. And the fact that somebody loses a campaign just means you lost. That's it.
That's it.
But
Who
the
said
fact
anything
that
about
you're oh, okay.
are we saying sore losers?
Yeah, I mean there are
Mm,
some sore losers, but okay, now you shaving your head, now you're joining a movement that really doesn't have anything to do with you, which started in Korea because their their society is not as free as ours. The American society is very generous, I would I would say, in their treatment or whatever is accessible to women. I mean, you just saw somebody be vice president, right? A female, and then be put in place in the running for presidency. So to say that those things aren't achievable or that you can't move a certain way here in America is really weird. Or because you lost a campaign, now all women are shutting down. You're not having a child, and you were considering, okay, you're probably almost at 38 anyway.
you-
So why does that throw you out of the loop? That has nothing to do with, your personal life per se. You know what I'm saying? Even though laws changing, they change language just like we have to address certain genders and things like that. I don't necessarily do it myself, but I never found myself in a position where I'm offending anybody. So I still live my life, but I'm aware that, there are changes and differences, but I still live my life. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not having children. Okay.
certain men of certain caliber right now is laughing their behind off because you can't you can't call a strike with your sexism, with
Mm,
your body part
mhm.
because of some political outcome or belief. You really can't.
Right.
And to even think that is asinine by itself. But I have to say this. She could have easily, and I'm gonna just show you how politics can work. Biden has all rights to say, you know what, I'm going to resign right now and let her be president for the next month or
Mhm.
whatever until this guy comes in,
Right.
just so we can make history. First black female president.
Right.
Could do that. Will he do it? It's still time to tell, but
Good.
it's not something that's impossible. That's my point.
Okay.
And the sad part is more men voted on this election than women.
Mm. What was
More
that? What was that again?
more men. The numbers don't lie. The statistics don't lie. They counted it up. More men, more black men. I'm gonna be specific. More black men voted than black
Mhm.
women on this election.
Mm.
More Hispanics voted for Trump than they did for Kamala.
Okay.
The fine point that got Trump elected was about the whole the alphabet community.
Mm-hmm.
The the direct, blunt, hey, if you're born of man or woman, that's it. There's no changing after that. And I'm gonna hold the medical professionals, the insurance companies, yada yada. I'm gonna make them all accountable, put them in jail, fine them, take their license if they even try to go against this.
Mm-hmm.
For especially for the young adults, the teenagers and under, all
Mm-hmm.
across the board. Now, hmm,
Mm-hmm.
that did not give rich people, celebrities, or anybody else any leg room. This is everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people are right now in the United States really agree with that, but never said anything because they didn't want to get canceled, or because they didn't want to be controversial, or just some people are just not that vocal about it. But that's the realization of it. Just because you have majority of women supporting a certain community does not mean that they're okay with it hitting home that your
Mm-hmm.
uncle is now your aunt,
Right.
your sister is now your brother. That doesn't mean they're okay with it. They can respect it, doesn't mean they're okay with it, and it doesn't mean that they want their children. This is the fine point. I don't want to be long-winded, but this is the fine point. When
Mm-hmm.
you have a child and you're raising that child as special as possible, and they go to school and they're exposed to something, they have a teacher teaching it, and you're coming to the school saying, no, I don't want my Jamal to be Jamaica. No, I don't want them knowing about this. And if they do, I'm going to teach it to them my way in my time and yada. No.
Yeah. We used to respect the innocence of children, even with the TV shows, a
They
lot
got
of
them out
things.
there twerking just like the adults.
Yeah. I mean, we used to see it at little parties, and then you teach them a little curse words. That's the most I used to see back in the day. They were like, "Hey, say
Mhm.
this." I'm like, "Okay," and or something like that, or like if your uncles and stuff, you drink beer, they're like, "Hey, get a little swig of this." Like, "Ew, this is nasty." Like, I don't know. They let you
Mhm.
do little small things, but not. I mean, society was surrounded by that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it was, and everybody kind of evolved in that way, in a time appropriate way. Now you can give them a phone and anything can pop up.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, like you said, you're trying to, like, you may not necessarily want to raise your child that way, but once you put policies in place and things like that, like we can learn to respect you. We know that something's off, but okay, like
Mhm.
you said, I'll respect you in that manner. I don't have to be rude or anything. But now everything has to be fashioned around that. I mean, look how long it took for us to just even drink water out of a water fountain or to sit and eat at a restaurant just because I cannot hide the fact that I am a black woman. Well, you can hide the fact that you're an undercover male or male woman in your society because you can do that,
I
but
like
I
I,
can't.
I I like that evolution of how we wasn't even allowed to drink water from a water fountain
Hmm.
to now we only drink certain types of water.
Oh, yeah, alkaline, darling.
You
Must.
understand? And like evolution is something else. But like I said, I think that we don't appreciate and respect it. I think we're abusing it. Um, like the video, I don't need no man. Well,
Hmm.
if you are saying that as a woman,
Hmm.
within the next few months, not years, months, I should see more female mechanics. I should see more females at construction sites. I should see more females in the coal mines. I should see more females at the oil tankers.
Oh
I
my.
should see more black women doing these jobs than males. but I'm not going to. I'm not going to a dealership and see 90% of the workers there are black women. I'm not going to see a construction site and 80% of the workers there are black women. I'm not going to see it.
Yeah, it's very small. I mean, I like the fact some of the things I do see on Instagram is like the guys, they have like trades programs, and I mean, in a majority there aren't a lot of females that do it, but I think for the sake of now just having a skill, not being on the phone or trying to secure a job, because I'm sure they'll try to
So
find a
how
way to have
so
AI
how
to fix a pipe, but if I can get a skill or something that can secure me, um, to have a job, I can see it in that manner. You know what I'm saying? That's how I can
any
see.
anybody can pick up. I don't care where you live at demographically in the United States. When you pick up the phone and say you got a problem with your cable, your water, your sewage,
Mhm,
there's not going to be a black woman coming to your door saying, I got this.
mhm. Yeah, it's very select. Mhm,
You might see a black woman show up at your door to deliver Amazon package,
mhm,
UPS, FedEx.
mhm. I've heard.
But let's understand that the
Even in that, there's
people,
still very few, very few.
right? And like I said, even the people maintaining those trucks,
Mhm.
the people that work on the docks, the shipment, it's not black women.
Yeah.
How many black women do we hear? And I'm not talking about just social media. When you ask a woman what she does for a living, let's really ask the right questions since we don't want men. Because if you're going to say you don't need a man and you don't want a man, that means there has to be a replacement.
Right,
There has to be a replacement.
right.
So if I don't need a TV or want a TV, what other replacement do I have to entertain myself if I don't have that TV? That means I must got more books or I must have more music or something. But don't sit here and say you don't need some or don't want something and think that you're hurting anybody. You're hurting yourself because you're restricting yourself from your purpose and design as a woman.
Right. And that's why I, had this show, because it's a time to turn to one another, because obviously other cultures, they have voted en masse. They stay with their own people. Okay, the Latin men, Latin women, white women, white men, they're all on one accord to achieve like all red states, all like the
Mhm.
whole map was almost red. And we thought, but it's not we thought, I think it was told to us and just planted in our head and played on our emotions, because that's what we do as
Correct.
the Black
Correct.
women, and the promises, and like you said, the
Mhm.
hope is not a good thing to have. Knowing is a better situation to be in. But even knowing historically, which we should have known, but we don't want to listen to those people trying to spew the truth. Um, sorry, I'm
I
just
don't
telling. Hey,
want to,
everybody, Mr.
you're
Vanya.
right. They don't want to listen.
Yeah, and we just keep, digging our hole in society. So they said powers in numbers, right? So if the men are over here, you just got five. If you got the women over, it's just five. But if we come together, we got 10. And we can like have unity, and we have power, and it has more effect. So we're like, it's been cultivated to start doing it separately, and I look back historically, to the Willie Lynch letter and all these things that just has been just dripped in, sporadically to just make us dismantle, because
But
we were
we're
married
looking
at 90%.
but we're looking more ignorant as time keep evolving.
Yeah.
Just because we have new technology doesn't mean we're getting smarter. We're getting more ignorant because we're coming up with other ways to make us lazier. point example, this term that we hear on social media, I think I discussed it with you. Um, these women are so this and that, they might as well get a dog or get a cat and die alone. That's
Mhm.
not an insult because do the average person know that having a cat or dog is way more expensive than having a man? You have to take that cat or dog to the vet. That costs money.
Yeah.
Having a cat or dog, maintaining it, healthy lifestyle when it comes to food, when it comes to the water they drink, their health, the doctors, the blood work, and all that. Man, that's way more expensive than maintaining your car, much less a child. So if you're telling a woman to come up with an extra 5, 10 grand a year to maintain a pet, as opposed to way less of nothing to maintain a man, you're not insulting her. You're pushing her away into debt. That's all you're doing.
But the only reason why they would say that is because like the bucking. You know what I'm saying? So what else can you can't say anything else. Okay, well continue in your way, but your way is going to drain you essentially. So I think that's the
Okay.
nicest way. They're not gonna say, oh, F off, be like, okay, then now
Okay.
you're low and you crazy too. Like, why'd you go
hmm
that low? So the next best thing that they attach to is just to identify the next thing that will be a companion for you. But now you gotta, like you said, you have to replace it and you're gonna have to maintain this thing. As opposed to somebody maintaining you.
And that would be good. That would be coming from a male perspective. I get that. Now, from a
Mhm,
female perspective, it sounds crazier because even though a woman is making more money than men in most cases,
mhm.
do you really want to spend your resources, ladies, on a cat or dog than a man? Well, not on a man, but would you rather have more? I think, and I talk about this a lot. Since most black people don't know how to budget for nothing, this is why we're still struggling. This is why we don't have contingencies if something came about. And I ask this questions a lot that how many people, if a problem came up right now, I don't care if it's bail money, I don't care what it is, where in order to solve a problem, it costs $5,000 or $10,000 right now. How many people can actually say no problem and pull it out and solve that problem? We're not planning long term. We don't think long term.
Mhm.
We don't have contingency. In the majority, we don't have contingency. We're living check to check or
Right.
opportunity to opportunity, but we're not in a position, majority, of having that mindset of, you know what, just in case something happens, man, at least I got a plan B.
Right.
Just like the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not prepared. If they came up with another pandemic right now, a lot of people would be messed up.
Oh, it's coming.
The same.
It's
So I don't
coming.
agree with these ladies trying to hold back sex and have all this hatred for men when for the most part, y'all hated men from the jump street. Y'all just was looking for an excuse to, emphasize on top of what you was doing already. And majority of the time, it's not. I don't want to just say blanketly it's hate for men. A lot of women are just frustrated that they just don't qualify for the men they want, and this is why they're saying it. You don't want to give it up because of anger. You're giving it up. You're not giving it up because you don't you don't have access to nothing else but dollar store dues to give it up to, and that's frustrating. I get it,
Yeah.
but you have
At
to
least
come
you
out your own
understand
mud.
that. Yeah. See, that's why I said we have to start turning back to ourselves. Like you said, if
Mhm.
only if women would start, trying to be better. That's why, I started a white school podcast. I'm like, hey, these things that I even did wrong and that I thought I was doing right, because we think that we can have we think that we know things and we really don't. And
Mhm.
we when we come into relationships, like, okay, there's some things that we do have to give up or consider and compromise on. And if you just going in there just combative and my mama said do this to a man and hopefully I'm not frozen. Oh man.
No, you're not frozen.
Oh, okay. You know, that be happening. And if like, you know, a man has served a woman and like the woman don't have to do nothing, I ain't making his plate. Like if we do things like that and that man is not accustomed to that because he saw his mom serving his dad and you're like, this is not what I signed up for, you know? So
Right.
then that's a problem. So if, like you said, if we're just so busy experiencing these problems, it's like we are gonna be frustrated, we are gonna be mad, but the women that are taken care of, they're really not even, they're just at home being like, oh, look at these crazy girls.
Yeah. And
And
this is why I said there's a certain amount of women out here
mhm,
that's not talking like women do on social media
mhm,
because they qualify for the men that they want and they're getting those men. That's why
right,
they're not up there talking about they don't hate men or I'm not giving none up until he does this and conditional this and
mhm,
transactional that. They're not
right,
talking like that because they understand their purpose and design and they don't attract those type of dudes that they got to complain about.
right,
They're going to the charity dinners, they're going to the golf courses, they're going to the marina, they're going around the caliber of men that don't act like Pookie and Ray Ray.
right.
They don't act like Nick Cannon, Little Wayne. They don't act like these guys. They're on a whole different ballpark. And
Mm,
that's what we meant before about you have to find or change the way you shop.
right.
And I say this constantly that if you wanted a jar of mayonnaise right now, and you go to the local grocery store on the corner,
Mhm,
and then you go to the supermarket, and then you go to Costco, just compare the prices.
right.
The prices, the quality, and the quantity. Just check it out. Who's spending more money? The person that went to the grocery store, the supermarket, or Costco? Come on. Change the way you shop, and that's how you would get a better outcome. A better outcome.
Mhm.
Come on.
That's true. I mean, and I think if we would get like if we would have honest women that would be honest with women, that's what they need to tell them, you know, not lies.
Well, you
And
can't get
also
honest. Hold
listening
on. You can't get honesty if you don't have vulnerability.
yeah, that's right.
People are not trying to
And
hear
accountability. And accountability.
well, yeah, but the vulnerability, when you talk about lying or honesty, it
Mhm.
goes to vulnerability only because vulnerability allows you to invite people in and let them see you as you are, not how you want them to see you.
But accountability says, well, maybe I am jacked up and I admit that. And now I accept that I need to change that. So, or I
Okay.
see um if I feel accountable to you, if I care about you and I'm like, well, I recognize this behavior. If I don't, you know, kind of hold you accountable in a way, I'm just letting you drive to your own death or something and I don't care,
That's
you know.
like
Like
saying,
my brother's keeper, but we don't want to we only want like you said we only want to be selective with that.
yeah,
But
I
not
lie to
necessarily
everybody else. I won't lie to you, but I'll lie to everybody else. Hmm?
mhm.
You want us to look at you as honest, but you lie to me, but you won't lie to everybody, or you lie to everybody else, but you won't lie to me. But you want everybody to look at you as an honest person. Nah.
See. Let me I have a question from Miss Embrace the Gray. She's another YouTube content creator on
Hey,
here.
come on with it. I'm laughing.
No, I'm trying to see if I can put this in the my if you see what's happening with my laptop right now, you'd be like, girl, like just shut everything down. It's like it ain't nothing
Oh,
is where it's supposed to be. But she said, "Sir, Why does the messenger matter so much to people? Isn't the message more important? And she says she's asking for her personal experience. Why does the messenger matter so much? Why don't people pay attention to the message? What do you think?
Because desperation says, you are not going to stop me from creating or projecting an excuse. Bottom line, what you're saying as a messenger, the message is what I'm trying to avoid. I have fear of the message. It requires me to work. It requires me to take accountability and responsibility. No, I don't want that. So, in order for my excuse to have any validity in my mind, no, I don't want to hear the message. So, I'm going to attack the messenger.
Mm.
I have to. And people have been doing that on social media for how long now?
Mhm.
They go after the messenger because the message itself, no. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. What do you mean I don't qualify? What do you mean change the caliber of people I attract? What do you mean change my environment? Learn demographic dating? What is all of this? No, no, no. It's everybody's fault but mine. No, I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to be myself. I'm grown. I can do what I want and I can get whatever I want. Lady, women been saying that since the 80s. I can get any man I want, and most of them is still alone.
Mhm.
And I keep saying it over and over. A lot of women need to educate themselves and listen to definition, not what they think, but what is actually it. There's a difference between effable and keepable.
Right.
Now, you might have gotten a lot of attention by a lot of different dudes of dollar store caliber, does not mean that you was wife material or keepable.
Right.
And this is why those quality men ain't looking at you. They're avoiding you.
Mm.
What?
Remind me of Jesus, right? He was a messenger, but the fact and all he said was what his father said. He said, if you see me, you see my father. But the fact that they couldn't, reach the father, and you saying you his son, and you saying all these blasphemous things, you messing up our little thing that we going around here, we're gonna take you out real quick. Now I know that people would like to do that, which we've seen, but it's just easier to attack, like you said, the person. And that's what because I'm always Jesus. That's basically what happened. They
Yeah,
did
even after, remember now, don't forget, even though he did all the magic tricks,
Hey, miracles. Go ahead.
I took water into wine and all this stuff. I mean, come on. It doesn't matter to the masses because they wanted the excuse. The excuse was more valuable to these people
Mhm.
as a way of not putting in no work, no effort,
Right.
not listening,
Mhm.
being justified in their own behavior and thought pattern. Come on.
And all he wanted to do was just show them, like, hey, be peaceful. Love your enemies. They're like, what? We don't want to love our enemies. We want to fight. Like, that don't make no sense. So just the fact that he was just trying to show them a new way, which did incorporate life and power and spirit. Like, it was just messing up the things that they couldn't receive it and elevate, and it would have been, so it was like, okay, well, I can't come to you over here. So that's when you started getting all the other churches in Rome and Corinth and all these other things in Asia Minor. So he's like, I couldn't come to my own people. They didn't receive me. So, okay, this message still got to go out. And he commanded his disciples to go everywhere and preach this good thing. All right. Because you see me, you spent your time with me, and you know what is the possibilities of these things. And that's what they did. And that's how we're here. Okay. Boom, boom. But so
One thing I'm not going to do is attack or blame women, but I'm going to say this. When we start seeing black women respect their elders more in a majority,
Mhm.
that's will be the change when men will shop differently at women around them.
Now, are you saying respect the elders, women or elder men, or just elders?
Period. No elders, period.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can't you can't you can't look at somebody in a respectful manner if they don't respect their elders, male or female.
that's true. But as you seen, Carl, and you said it. You said them same women since the 80s, they probably 50, 60 now. They trying to act just like the youngins. So how can
But
I respect you if you're doing the same things I'm doing? See, that's the thing. A
these
lot of
women,
people.
these men and women today, the men and women today are in fear. They're fear of not living anymore. Their fear of death. And the reason why they fear death, because of course, obvious reasons, they never experienced it. So therefore,
Mhm.
when you are getting into your 40s and 50s, when you start seeing them gray hair, when you realize
Mhm.
guys ain't showing you that type of attention like you did back in your younger years, it scares you. It happens with guys and women.
Mhm.
Guys get to a certain level where even their body changes. Man, you used to do a whole lot of things back now.
Right.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. You know, the older you get, the less time you can even handle in the bedroom, but so it's out the bedroom. So it's scary. So you have to put on whatever facade to attract younger people. Hopefully they don't know any better. Hopefully they can manipulate because you know both men and women, people in your group and up ain't
Mhm.
putting up with the half nonsense.
Mhm.
You can't just run whatever circle. So this is why both sides, male and female, yeah, I'm gonna go get me a young buck because they don't need much. There's no work involved.
Mm.
The
That's
older women getting a young dude is just a matter of a PlayStation or a couple of drinks or some food or whatever. Come on, they don't know better.
right.
Where a dude your age group would require you to be a whole lot more than just cooking some good food like grandma used to do or some sex. They require a little bit more than
Right.
just that. You're giving these guys, these younger guys, the bare minimum. We don't accept bare minimum, and it's the same thing, vice versa, with older guys and younger women.
Right.
Come on. These older women want you to have contingency. These young girls, they're not asking these dudes 10, 20 years older than them, do they have life insurance? That they've been on the same job for 20 years? How long they've been at their same residence? They're not, the younger chicks ain't asking the right question. That's why
Mhm.
these older dudes are going after them young women. It's easy. It's less work, manipulation.
Hmm.
So we don't want to face that fear.
Now, are you exposing the bro code?
Oh, I wouldn't call it a bro code.
Like,
I would
are
just
you
see it
are you
as logic.
exposing the male population?
I listen, I see it as logic because, behavior is something that when you are not so much interpreting it, but when you observe it, it leads to nothing more than a mindset, a pattern, and an outcome.
Okay.
There's no way around it. A mindset, pattern, and outcome. Your mindset is to waste time. So your pattern is going to be always wasting time, always late, whatever. And
Mhm.
your outcome is always going to be stagnated because you've never respected time.
Okay, okay. Now that you're seeing, the clip that we had and just people shaving their heads, just doing crazy things. I was trying to show another clip, but I wish I could show you what my
Come
screen
on,
looks.
go for it.
I can't do it. I can't do it without stopping my live.
Okay,
It's
well, at least if you know what it's about, can you give a paraphrase of what it's about?
I can try. It was about Dr. Bryant. It's the lady that talked to Nick Cannon and to Cam Newton, and she was talking about high value, what a high value man
Oh,
is. So
oh,
I think what's really scary is that, women, they may, try to start being like, oh, I'm separate or whatever, whatever. I'm not touching anyone. But it's like, for the most part, I don't think our women are consistent. Like, they'll say something, but then next thing you know, like, girl, didn't you say you were staying home? You ain't dating nobody, but now you on Tinder, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's off girl
Mm-hmm.
era. That only lasted like 2 weeks. I didn't hear nobody else talking about it. Then there was like, we love you, black man. We love you, black man. Then nobody was saying nothing no more. So seeing that,
It's the camouflage. It's the camouflage.
yeah. Then next thing you know, that now they don't want a man anymore. But now you crying like, I need a high value man, and he got to
No,
be
no,
like.
no.
So it's like, I get
It's a
confused.
cheat code, camouflage, lie, all in one. Because women have been said, "Oh, I've been celibate for the last 5 years, 8 years. Yeah, I've been playing with toys. Yes, I've done, other things. I've been to a couple of swing parties. It's like it doesn't count because I wasn't in a relationship, or it doesn't count because I was drunk that night. You understand? So it's selective about this crap.
What would you say? Okay, the video was about a high value man.
Well, I'm gonna do one
Hold
better
on,
for you.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay,
I was gonna play it for you.
high value. Oh, what? You're gonna play it?
Yeah, I'll play it for you.
Can you share it?
I'm gonna see if I can, darling.
Okay, because I'm gonna see if I could take a screenshot of my screen, so you'd be like,
No, don't do
oh,
that.
okay, I just did it because I'm like, I don't think.
Mm.
I said this must be the devil because he don't want people to come together, and I'm like, I just want to encourage people to just let's start respecting one another. Let's start embracing one. It's like we don't have time. Yes, thank you. Oh, you can't do it?
Yes, I can. I'm about to.
Okay, at least we can hear it. That's good.
Mhm. I'm about to do it right now for you.
Okay. You can just play it so we can just hear the audio.
No, I'm gonna do it so well that you're gonna think I'm a professional over here.
I have to show you how to really do it, but you're on your phone.
Hmm. Hmm. 1 second. I'm using
No,
two hands. I'm using two hands.
that.
Okay, here we go. Hmm.
Come on, I gotta go.
Reference Cam as a high value man with a low value, I guess, just a low vibration.
Yeah,
low function.
very low functioning.
So what is your definition of high value? Because to me, it just sounds like high value to you is like superficial stuff.
High value just means that it's pretty much like you're making a lot of money. You have a lot of tangible things. Your high value, your value is high, and your monetary value, your value is high. Meaning, you got a man who's making $100 million, then he's high valued, and women who are superficial. But I'm not knocking y'all, sis, okay? Are very attracted to that. But again, are they choosing the man or are they choosing the value? The value.
But some people are so poor, all they got is money.
And so,
You know what I mean?
and that goes to where this is going to be a very, very unpopular opinion, or very popular, but it's going to cause a lot of controversy. I always say, if you realize the most prettiest, beautiful women, many of them, men have put a baby in them, but they made a wife out of them.
Mm.
And I go to the high value men, have put babies in them, but they made a wife out of them. Because those women are choosing the value in them, and those men are choosing the low functionality in her. So that's a match made in heaven for them. Even though the fairy tale ends at some point and everybody goes back to the drawing board and comes into my session and says, because I can't have these, I can't name, I have some very, very A-list celebrity women who come in and say, I'm beautiful, I'm successful, I can have any man I want. I'm lonely as hell. And I'm afraid that I'm going to die alone.
Yeah.
But you have a child. You've been married to this A-list big NBA player. And the relationship is now over. And you feel like you're going to be alone because you never learned to choose anything of substance. So you were hollow the whole time. So you're not afraid of being alone physically. You're afraid of being alone emotionally because you've been alone this whole time. So you don't even have a relationship with yourself. So who you really don't want to be with is you.
So why should we
Because being
call
alone is about being with you.
So why should we call those brothers high value?
Because value, based on how I define it, is just money. Like I'm a high valued woman, right? I have a multi-million dollar home. I come from the hood. I went from the hood to the hills, but I've accumulated a lot of value, right? I drive luxury cars. I have a certain lifestyle, but I would be low functioning if I preyed on men that I know I can use. If I preyed on men that I know I can say, eat, sleep, and poop me and shut up, or I go run amok, be in your beta, because I said so. That's low functioning of me. High value and high functioning would be, now I want a man who can stand on, he's vertical, because every human being is a hybrid. We're all high functioning and low functioning. So there's going to be moments where I get in my low functioning. And if I get in my low functioning and I start to say things that are emasculating to you, I don't want a low functioning man. I want you to say, baby, I don't talk to you like that. And I don't like when you talk to me like that. I'm not going to leave you, but we got to work on this because I'm not some nothing ass nigga.
So what is a high value man?
Right. Where'd he go? You still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. My little screen is.
No, I got you.
So
You know who she was talking about, though, right?
go ahead.
She was talking about those women that are like the Vivica Foxes and Lisa Ray McCoys and all the women that at one time were high desired by men, attracted a lot of men. However, even though they went out and married certain type of men, that fairy tale didn't last for so long. And now they're at that crossroad. What do they have access to? Because the men of quality don't want them. So that means the only thing left is dollar store dudes, because in their mind, remember, basic men are not good enough to be with them. Basic men work every day and 9 to 5s, and those are the bus drivers. Those are the the Con Edison guys. These are, you know what I'm saying? These are the real, get your nails deep in dirt type of dude. You understand? 9 to 5 it. Nah, I'm not sleeping with that. If I sleep, I gotta sleep with a boss, a CEO. But those bosses, like I said, certain type of dude, they're not interested in you. And it has nothing more to do other than the fact that you don't serve their purpose. Not you don't serve a purpose, you don't serve their purpose.
But
Most
isn't that a relationship with every level, like the average guy too? So wouldn't he invite a woman or marry a woman that would serve an alignment with him as well?
well, let's
mannerisms.
well, let's dive into that real fast. Single black man, no children, lives alone, been on his job 20 years, retired. Do you think he's looking for a woman that's over 55 years old or under 55?
Probably under 55.
Bingo. So let's not disturb the fact that if he is 48 years old, he's not going up. He has to go down, because what is he going up for? He's looking out for his best interest and saying, how can I get more for myself? Like the argument about certain men are not dealing with women with kids, right? Well, maybe they're too broke to handle the responsibility of a woman with kids. Maybe they just don't want to deal with the baby fathers that comes with dealing with those kids. Maybe they don't want to take the liability that them kids can turn on him and throw him under the bus. Or maybe, why do I have to invest in this woman with 3, 4 kids when I could get me a woman with no kids?
Mr. East's in the building. Everyone, Smitty, Embrace, Von Eric. Sorry, shout out to my peep hud.
Mhm.
Trying to go fast. But like she said, like even though you may have a lot of money, sometimes you could be low functioning, regardless of how much
Sure.
you amass. You may not be marriage material. It don't matter. Your money
Yeah,
does
male
not
or
make you
females. You're
a
right.
wife. Your money does not make you a husband. It's your
Correct.
character. And I
But
think a lot of people need to really get we need to probably get rid of high value at this point.
there's
And
no such thing as high value. That's the
okay,
point.
but I'm saying like a word that we should drop in 2025 is high
Yeah.
value. Just who are you? Who is Becky?
It's
Who is Stephanie? Regardless of all that, because if it was lost the next day, if all the banks closed and went bankrupt as they did in Arizona, they couldn't get in that bank. Couldn't get that money out. What you gonna do then?
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So those are those are frivolous things that we shouldn't be prioritizing because that doesn't mean a hill of beans. Because
Yeah,
we
because if you was high value as a male or female, you wouldn't be single. You'd be married for 20, 30 years.
yeah.
Because the whole purpose of being high or on the top of the totem pole is that you are the pinnacle of what everybody else is trying to get to. Well, if you're single and calling yourself high value as a male or female, how is you trying to tell people that everybody want to be like you when you're in the same boat everybody else in? You're average.
Mhm.
You're average.
Grace said, "I go for men for high value that are high in their content and their character." What is that?
I don't know what that sounds like, but okay.
Well, they're high in their value with their characteristic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the value that I have. Like
So let me get this
good
straight. He got
integrity.
good. Let me get this straight. He got good character, and he's good in the bedroom, but he has no contingency, and there's nothing about him that says 10, 20, 30 years. So what are we doing here? Are we just going by just one thing, or are we looking for the complete package? Because that's what's making it different. What will make us not regret later? You understand? When you went and bought that car, did you get tires, battery, gas? Everything was in it. You didn't get bits and pieces and say, well, I'll get my tires on the way out. Nigga, I had no tires on the car, but you bought it. Where you going? Or I'll just get me a new seat when I get out. When you bought something, or in this case, when you invest in something, you want it to be complete. You don't want it to come bits and pieces or damage or something that you have to invest more money into. Invest more into, period. It doesn't work like that. You as a woman understand that the purpose of having a husband or a man is so you don't have to look elsewhere as time evolves. If something breaks, your partner handles that. If a man is trying to threaten you, your man will handle that. If the bills is, there's a late notice on a bill, your man will handle that. Whatever it is, your man will handle that. That's interdependency. When you have somebody with the same mindset of investing in this relationship, go forward, not stagnated, not bits and pieces, not layaway program, not the Groupon effect. Come on. But men and women, we got to do better in what we accept, what we put up with, what we allow. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to give a damn. I'm being honest. Nobody gives a damn. If you
Okay.
giving, if you are sleeping with somebody or not, if you go celibate or not, if you holding out for a millionaire, whatever, nobody cares.
Okay.
But you will care later on when you figure that shit didn't happen. Hmm. Yeah, it is New York pizza. I'm in New York. But I'm telling you, we are very selective and complex. I think intentionally we make things complicated for no reason. You know, um, does that man have stability, consistency, and contingency? Does he have life insurance? Does he know how to fix stuff around the house? You understand? Is he a thinker? Is he proactive? You know, stop being selective on what really matters. Because, like I said, anything can go broke or happen in the household. You don't want to have to always got to pay somebody to come do it when he's the one that's able to do it. You picked him. This is what you allowed in your bedroom. A man that knows how to fix things around the house. A man that if something happens, you don't have to start a GoFundMe because he got life insurance. He came prepared for this job. He didn't come in and say, "Hey, babe, I need you to help me get my license. I need you to help me get my credit together." No, the dude came prepared. That's your standard. That's the
Well, that I
standard.
mean, I think we should start looking for more and more of that, instead of like cutting our hair and staying away from abstaining
Yeah.
from men. Like it only makes sense that okay, just to look at the data that we all voted the same, or that majority, I didn't do it, but the majority
Mm.
of people voted the same. So it's like, okay, we may be on the same path, but we
Going
just
about it
on the
wrong.
different sides of the road, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
We've been telling them for years. Okay, let me see. This darn thing. We for years, OG, they don't give a F and not listening at all. That's what Mr. He said.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's
I'm gonna tell you,
but I do have
I'm gonna tell you where men laugh at. Men laugh at when you tell five different dudes that you're celibate or you saving it till marriage, or or we got to go on a date and hold out for a year, and they're laughing at you because you're sitting there telling me that with three kids in the bedroom, and they're
shut
not
up.
by the and they're not by the same baby daddy. You've never been married. We're laughing at that because it's like, when, why? No, 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 no. It was easy to come through that front door with just a bottle of Pepsi. Now all of a sudden, it costs a bottle of champagne and $500 to come through that door. No, what the hell?
Mr. He said, you need to put on your comments. He said, "You sell a bit, I buy a bit." Maybe you got to start saying that. You sell a bit, or I'll buy a bit. And maybe
Listen,
she'll laugh and be like,
I've always thought celibacy was another way of women saying or men saying they're on vacation from something they've been doing so much that they need a vacation. They need a timeout.
probably. I think I really think what they want is just to be abstinent till they find a better person, which is you do need a break. Like, because if you've been making the same horrible choices, like, yeah, you gotta shut the factory down just a little bit to renovate
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
upgrade, and okay, then we can reopen again, the grand reopening,
No,
and
don't
okay,
weaponize it though.
yeah, don't
Don't
weaponize it,
weaponize
but
it.
like, be more
Yeah.
intentional. Like, don't mess with dudes that
So
whatever that
if you
some
tell me you celibate and I see you 2 months from now with a dollar store dude, I'm gonna have a problem with you.
yeah, but did she learn? Did
You
he learn?
pregnant
No.
again?
See now, that's the one right there. You pregnant again? I'm like, we can't be friends no more. You
You
know.
were celibate last year. Now you pregnant. What the hell happened? And
Mm,
you still not married. And you
mm,
already got 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever. Come on, man.
that's bad. Like,
And you
woo.
are, and the worst part is,
Mhm.
I don't mind the excuses coming from 20 and 30, but you past 40.
We just said the 4B movement.
This is
We need
past
to start
40. Some of these chicks are you know
like,
what? And I hate to say this, but this is even coming out of females over 50, over 55. Some women should be lucky anybody even looking at them, to be honest. And
mhm.
I'm not talking about just on the look, just by acceptance. Because when we talk about value, value of what? What is it that you're bringing to somebody that says this tree will grow, not just wither or just exist? You get what I'm saying?
I can't
If
recall.
you're just existing, that's not a value.
Mm,
It's not.
yeah.
Well, I'm giving him sex. Okay, and so there's 8 million other women on this planet. You
Well,
ain't the
see,
only
the
woman
thing
with body
we
parts.
really have to do a big self-evaluation, and it's hard because we have decent people out here. Mr. He said, she said, him and his wife, they get on the platform. We for a long time they were pushing. We got to bring back shame. We have to shame certain tendencies that we have. We, unwritten black rules that we just adopted out of nowhere, right? Some of them things
Yeah.
you have to give up. It hasn't been beneficial for you, for me, whatever.
Mm.
Black don't crack. Okay, you're aging well. Why don't we just accept that we age
That's a
well?
lie.
That's
Black does
fine.
crack
We
like
are
a
going to get
hell.
old because those people have cracked and they are in the grave. Okay,
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, he's done his thing and he has gone on. So that's how
Yes.
life is. We, like you said, we are fearful. We're not vulnerable. We're not honest with ourselves. We're not authentic, and we don't take
Hmm.
accountability. So many things that we really have to stem from our childhood that we really have to like just really unlearn and then relearn some sense, even the
Yeah.
old folks,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because
Yeah.
we can't learn from anybody because they having a hard time too, or they're like,
Well, the old
it's
folks got to understand the evolution since their days in their 20s and 30s dating is not 2024. You understand? Back then, yes, you gave each other first and last name, invited each other over for dinner, you met their parent. That's not happening in 2024. You ain't gonna see that woman without her weed for at least 2 years, dog. And you already took her out how many times? You don't even know what her bathroom looked like. And you've been dating her, spending money for over a year. This is not the same. People's mindset and purpose is different,
okay,
you know. But
but
I would like to see that change, though. I would like to see people get along with each
Mhm,
other, but it's too much, like I said, overprotective vulnerability,
mhm,
laziness,
mhm,
and cockiness,
yeah.
arrogance. It's too much of it.
Yeah, and then it goes to the other video. I really do have to wrap up. Maybe we can continue later, but it was talking
Sure.
about love being a choice, not just this fairy tale thing that we just think happens. No, we have
Yes.
to choose to love one another, despite
Yes.
how hard it is. I haven't been consistent with it. This is my Shahrazad Ali, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding a Black Woman, because I wanted to hear her opinion on what she said, and
Mm.
she said every problem with the Black man, however, requires her to make a decision about whether or not she will stay with him or go. She does not consider problems as temporary stumbling blocks, but every issue is a life or death problem that the entire relationship dangles from. So it's like you're saying, like, we just because everything isn't perfect or everything isn't happy, or like we have to make or we have to choose each other every day, we're letting go of these relationships, of these marriages, for temporary things, that because you're only in your feelings at that moment. You know what I'm saying? You're
Oh,
making
okay.
you're
Okay.
making
I got you.
irrational decisions, and you're just bringing everything down
Hmm.
just because you're in your feelings at that moment, and
Breaking
so
up. In other words, you're messing up relationships. You're messing up the household, the structure. Your selfishness also messing
Mhm,
up the future of the children that you're bringing into this earth,
right.
because they don't get to see what a daddy look like, what a man look like, what a
Mhm.
relationship look like with two healthy people. I mean, it is a domino effect of destruction.
Yeah.
And it is sad that your 10 minutes of emotional up and down tantrum is costing you, the man, the children, a lifetime of misery.
Yeah.
because they got to learn it from somewhere. And if
Right.
they never learn it, it's really worse because it's
Mhm.
contaminating other people.
Yeah, and the next generation, absolutely. But
Yeah,
and now we're still broken.
crazy.
So the brokenness on the microcosm is just a reflection of what's happening in the majority.
But
We're
we
still
said that a lot of people today
Mhm.
is acting out trauma that their grandmother went through.
Yeah,
They
they
got
still want you to
transferred.
color purple.
Right.
You're right. They do bring it up. My grandma stayed because
Hmm.
Carl hit her in the head with a shoe. And
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, like no, I was putting on the shoe, it slipped off my head, and then your grandmother mistook it that I was, we make up a whole bunch of
Your grandmother was robbed, so now she's telling you, don't go out with a man unless this, that, and the third. That's what she told her daughter. And now that she has you, she's passing along to you what grandma told her.
Mhm.
And all of y'all is wrong because all of y'all was shopping at the same grocery store instead of changing where you shopped at for the type of men that y'all don't have to attract or go through that stuff.
Right.
But nobody, like you said, nobody want to listen.
Mhm.
Everybody's grown with ignorance.
Well, you know what? The Bible says even he was preaching to people. He was like, if he held the child, he said, if you don't become as this child, there's no way you can enter into the kingdom of heaven. So that is the form, the posture of a child. They love, they don't hold grudges. You know what I'm saying? They may fight, give me my toy, but then they playing again. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that tenderness, that vulnerability, that hey, I need you, help me up, daddy, or hold my like the guidance they are seeking. If we don't make our hearts like that, like you said, the entitlement and that anger and all this, the bitterness, like if we don't let that go,
They ain't
it's
gonna let
really
go.
going to be hard for us to look at one another and say, I love you, I need you, I respect you.
Mm-mm.
Like, okay,
Just
well,
like
let's
she
erase
said in the
all
comment.
let's erase
Just
all
like
that. Hmm.
just like she said in the comment, and I'm gonna go back to it. People are not reading and understanding and processing the Bible or anything from history or elders. They're creating their own Bible,
Yeah, they
their
said F
own
your God.
history.
I've seen that. I was like, now there's a lady that started the 4B movement here in America. It's a black woman. She has a
Mhm.
mug says F your God. So also, oh, wow, okay. So first of all, you gotta move the
I
a
told you.
higher authority, which does represent the next thing in place is the man that's over you. So first I got to eliminate the man that eliminate the thing that the man is submitted to. Okay, next, now I can eliminate the man and now I'm removing myself from the whole equation. Okay, so me removing myself and now that the women are over the children, now you're alienating this whole thing, and it just is
These women are these women are striving to
Mhm,
become the men they can't have.
absolutely. That's bad. Because you can never be a man. Or hold
It-
on, what is that? A stud? They want to be. I don't want to be no stud.
it's not going to work out for you, especially when a real man approach you
Hmm.
and you need to defend yourself. And man, it's not the same. You can't impersonate a man,
Mm, interesting.
just like a man can't impersonate a woman, no matter how hard he tries.
Yeah, you go ahead and put some makeup on that beard. No, I'm playing. But
It's
okay,
not gonna
I ain't
work.
gonna go that way. But I'm gonna cut it right here because I do have to cut out, and then
Okay.
we can continue and come back and talk about another show, like do another show. I never
Hey,
do 2 shows
just,
in one
just
day, so this will be new for
hey,
me.
no
And we
problem.
can
Just hit
continue
me
this
up.
and let's talk about trying to transition to how we can start loving
Yeah,
and
because you know I love solution based convo, so
yeah,
I got some
let's start the
solutions.
solution. Since we aired it all out, let's
Hmm.
reel it back in. You guys, I'm gonna come back on later today. I gotta do my mommy duties. I'm already a little bit behind, but I thank you for rocking with me today. And thank you, Carl, for showing up. I always it's a pleasure to
Sure.
have you and your opinion and thoughts. Thank you, Embrace. He said, she said, I please come back if you have, any little time, just to sit with us, and grown folks trying to have really grown solutions, because we out here and we support one another. So I love you, and I'll the little notification, click it on so that you can see our show later this evening. So I love you. Be safe out there. Thank you, Carl. Bye, guys.
Salute,
Oh my goodness.
salute.
Hold on. I gotta see if I can end this thing. I can't even see it. Okay.
It's called a
There
leave
you go.
button.
I think it ended. Let me see. Aw.